Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to another IRL racing video. And as you can see, just like last year, we're back in the supercars around Assen. This is a yearly event here in Assen, and the racing days, it's been a thing for years. And we're back competing for the second time in the supercars, as you can see. This is race number 1 qualifying. Didn't go too well. We were unfortunate with the red flag, so we're starting down in P15. Sounds really far back, but when you realize there is 60 go-karts competing in this, it doesn't sound too far back all of a sudden, and quite doable. Also, as you can see, the track is so wide in these little go-karts. It's actually quite big for a go-kart, but you know, we're driving on a proper racetrack in this, so you got lots of opportunity to overtake people. Slipstream is quite big as well, only 100 horsepower, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we only weigh 218 kilo, or that's the minimum weight you have to be. I have no idea what my weight is actually in total. Last year I was really overweight. This year we've got a slightly lighter kart. This year we're driving in an Anderson. Last year we're driving in an MS kart. Someone told me the difference is around 8 kilos, so that's quite big. And I think this year I'm a little bit lighter as well. Been doing lots of running lately, as I'm trying to prepare myself for a marathon next year. But here we go then, starting P15. It's a rolling start. We still got a full last sector actually to go through. But yeah, rolling start. We do have to use the clutch a little bit in case the leaders really slow down a lot. Otherwise you flood the engine. Yeah, you really have to keep the revs up. Anything above, below 10k RPM, the engine will just completely stall if you go flat out. You'll flood the engine and you basically stall. So yeah, revs have to stay at least above 10k. Which sounds really high, but it's quite normal for a go-kart. You have to yeah, keep it up. So, trying to get the tires to warm up one last bit. Here we actually had a puncture in free practice, in my second free practice, on a new set of tires, so that was unfortunate. And also quite dangerous, as you can imagine. Lap times are nearly as fast as an F3 car. We're doing a 1:36, I think was pole. Race probably a little bit slower, as it might be a bit warmer. It's always a little bit hard to say how the track conditions are going to be. But yeah, let's see. Here we go then. This is the final chicane, and as you can hear me, just pull the clutch to make sure we don't flood the engine on the start and lose a lot of positions. So I always try to leave a bit of a gap so we can get a run on the karts ahead. And lights out, and we actually do get a little bit of run. Not as well as I would have hoped. Into turn 1 we're gonna go. It's like 6 wide up ahead. And unfortunately, we have to brake early. We got overtaken there by number 8. So we had to back off a little bit there. And now, quite a few cars off the road. So it's hard to say if we gained any positions or if we lost. Because it's such chaos at the start. There's cars absolutely everywhere. And now we're going to go around the outside of these 2 cars into the hairpin. And now we're back behind the number 8. And this is quite a long straight, heading up to a very fast chicane. I think the minimum speed is around 170 kph as we get overtaken by the 87 into there. So yeah. Good start, no major issues, stayed out of trouble. I think we've gained quite a few positions actually. I think we're around P10 at the moment. And then we're going to try and keep that, of course, really close behind the 87. As we get dive on by number 15, we managed to get him back straight away. As he just went way too deep into that braking zone. Now, we are so close behind 87. We're going to get lots of slipstream. Unfortunately, just like last year, we're lacking quite a bit of engine power again on this long back straight. You can see how much time we've lost already to the car ahead. Even though we're right in a slipstream on this straight. We take this corner flat out, so we gain a bit of time back. Now we're going to try and get a run on him through the final chicane. Close the gap a little bit. And now we have to make sure we don't get overtaken into this right-hander. That number 15 looks quite fast at dive on this. I have no idea what happened to him after, of course, as we overtake the 24 around the outside. We got another car on our inside, number 5. Goes deep, and now we can get the cut back in the long right, and I really like that tight line through there. A lot of people going wide, and I feel like that's just slightly slower. So yeah, back behind the number 8 as we get re-overtaken by the number 5 on this long back straight. So that's no ideal. It's always tricky because whenever I'm behind someone, some people just have such low minimum speed in a corner. Like here, for example, you really have to slow down, and then they unfortunately just pull away a little bit on the exit. So that's frustrating because you can't get momentum as the number 5 is a little bit of a moment. We're going to try and have a little look into the right-hander. We're going to have to down an extra gear to make sure we don't bog down there on the exit. Again, we got a 3-card slipstream ahead of us. And it's probably going to make that 4 actually as we get overtaken. This is probably going to be the highest top speed we've reached all weekend, with 4 cards slipstreaming each other into here. I had to lift there a little bit because I had no idea what the card ahead was going to do. Yellow flag up ahead. This guy doesn't care, however, and we lose another position. So that was no ideal. So yeah, into turn 1 we lose another position, and now let's see if we can get that number 28 straight away back into the next right-hander. Maybe we have to brake really late if we want to pull this one off, and we do. Up 1 position. See if we can get another one into the hairpin. We're gonna brake late down the inside. The guy was trying to prep the exit, and we're just gonna scoot ahead on the apex, but he gets us back straight away. Unfortunately, on the next straight. So again, number 28 is back at us. It's so frustrating driving like this. Again, I have to be careful on the apex speed there. You will see later on in the video how much more speed I carry if I'm in clean air. The number 5 locks up, gives us the opportunity to get the move done, and up another position we go. It's just ping pong up and down all the time with positions. Let's see if we can go for a move into the next right-hander. No, it's a little bit too late. So yeah, I think we're still around P10. We lost a few positions, but we keep gaining them back all the time as well. We might lose a position here on the straight. You can see how much we're losing there compared to the car ahead. But at least we can do it flat out now. Car ahead might not do that, so we might gain some time back. I'm running absolutely minimum rearing because I knew I was going to lack some top speed again. You can see how much more speed we carry, and then we're going to be gone on the straight again. It is quite challenging. I did kind of enjoy it sometimes, although if you really want to move forward, it can be frustrating. Like here, for example, carrying a lot of speed, you just can't get the move then on the next right-hander. Maybe if he goes wide again. Unfortunately, we can't go tight because we get a card on our inside. The number 40. We did a 141.3 on the last lap. Obviously, lots of battling going on. So let's see what we can do on this lap. Now you can see roughly on my dash the water temperature is 60 degrees in the top left, and you will see soon that I will have an issue. Honestly, at this point the engine power was still fine, but my water pump started breaking, and at some point it's just gonna skyrocket to 100 degrees. And we're gonna lose a lot of engine power. So I'm not sure if it's this lap or in the next lap. At the moment we're still finding the number 8. I remember last year I was battling the number 8 a lot as well. I had great battles with him. So yeah, let's see if we can maybe get past him into turn 1. We're gonna have to brake late for the chicane if we want to, because you can see the gap ahead is massive now. So yeah, we're gonna have to brake late for the chicane. Unfortunately, we have a slight issue here, and that's the number 45 came down the inside. But that's, you can see what happened there. We had to go down an extra gear. The car that overtook us didn't, and then you completely bog down, and absolutely nothing happens. You have to keep the RPM up, otherwise the car just bogs down, and you'll be absolutely nowhere. So yeah, let's see if we can close down the number 8 again in the next few corners. Not really an overtaking opportunity yet. Too far behind. A little bit of an unsteer there. I really tried to get the car to rotate well. This was a little bit of a misshift from the car ahead. And that puts us really close now into the next chicane. Can we get the move done? Unfortunately not. We will have to outbrake him by quite a bit. And it's quite a short braking zone, so that wouldn't be really smart. So yeah, we have to sit behind for another lap, and you can see that's frustrating. Just no minimum speeds from the car ahead. We had to shift down an extra gear. We just couldn't get the momentum on the exit because of it. So yeah, you have to sit down behind the number 8 again. Again, not really any minimum speed. Gain a lot on the apex, but then we just lose it on the exit again. So we sit behind for another lap. We're not gonna have the engine power to get past here. We're gonna do the next corner flat out again. Not everyone is doing it flat out, so we gained quite a bit of time to some people through here. Especially with the minimum rear ring we're running. I'm really pushing through there, as you can see. I think that might have been close to track limits as one Kart pulls into the pits there on the right. I think DNF had some kind of engine issue and was too late to take the normal pit entry route. Right behind the number 8 again. Let's see, can we get a move into this next right-hander? Maybe cut back. Unfortunately, we can't quite. I was thinking maybe going for a mover into the hairpin. Covers up the inside. We're gonna try and get some good rotation, and that's what I was talking about. Need to get such good rotation there just before the apex, because it helps your exit so much. Sometimes I got it, sometimes I didn't. If I went a little bit too deep, I didn't. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to concede again into the next right-hander to the number 8, and we lose another position. That is rough. On to the next lap. You can see we're still right behind the number 8. Trying to get past him in the slipstream, but we just need to be close on one of the exits, or maybe even get past him on one of the exits. He will probably re-overtake us on the straight, and then we can go for a proper move. I now knew that the car ahead didn't, or wasn't going to carry any momentum on the apex. So I tried to set up the exit, but we just didn't have the power to really do something there. The number 68 got past us there, and now you can see on the top left, the water temperature has absolutely skyrocketed in the past few corners, up to 96. And at this point I realized that we have to stop. There's too many laps left in the race to continue. If we continue, the water temperature will skyrocket to 110, 120. There will be no engine cooling left, and the engine will blow up. So there's no point in continuing. So yeah, indeed the water pump broke. We had to come in and yeah, call it a day for that race. And that means we're gonna be starting all the way at the back, down in P45, I think so. So yeah, we got some work to do in this race. P45 into turn 1, and we're gonna try and set up this exit. We have already overtaken around 2 cars, make that 8 at this point. Into the next right, and then we're gonna go down the inside of a lot of people here. I think at this point we've already overtaken like 12 or 13 people. It's nearly like we're driving in a different category through here. Yeah, around the outside in the hairpin, another position gained, and now we got a lot of momentum of that hairpin. And another 2, 3, 4 people we've passed there. This is actually Alex Kalf on our left there, a Dutch commentator for Formula 1 we've managed to overtake. And now, around the outside in the next left-hander, huge skill gap. I'm not sure what to call it. Skill gap between a lot of people here, and that's why we're overtaking so many people. Another position gained. Up to whatever position, I don't know. We were in P45. We're going to gain another 2 positions into this next right-hander. Not sure we're going to be able to keep it on the next straight, of course. Big straight coming up. But we're going to try, of course, to keep gaining position. The further we're going to get to the front, the more difficult it's going to get. Because the faster the people are, of course. We were, I think, in P9 or P8 in the last race. You could see how much faster we are through there. Through that flat-out left-hander, not flat-out for everyone. Another 2 positions gained, and now we're behind the nice number. Let's see if we can go for another move into turn 1 straight away. A top 10 would be very lovely from P45 on the grid. We cannot outbrake him into turn number 1. He goes a little bit deep. Saw that happening, so I set up the exit, and now we can maybe go for a move down into the next right-hander. Up another position, and we did a 144.7, which is not bad considering we overtook like 20 or 25 people in that opening lap. Now we got a little bit of a gap to close in to the people ahead. And as I said, it's going to be harder and harder. Probably the gaps are going to get bigger and bigger between people as well as we get closer to the front. As we get overtaken, unfortunately, by the number 66. Now, this was, I think, the fastest driver on the grid. He just DNF'd in the first race. I think his name is Wout Kershens. Ex-Formula 1 driver Jan Lammers spun off to the infield there on the left. So, yeah. I think Wout actually started ahead of us, but we had a much better opening few laps than him. So yeah, we're not going to be able to keep up with him because he is way, way faster. We're going to have to settle. I actually regret a little bit I left such big of a gap into the chicane, but sometimes it's hard because someone overtakes you on the straight that is not as fast in the corners, and then obviously if you send it, you simply drive into the back of them. So yeah, I realized a little bit too late that it was him who got past us. We do a 140.0 now on the second push lap, I think that is. As we're closing in to a group of karts ahead. One kart going slowly on the outside there. But yeah, you can clearly see how much we're gaining to the kart ahead. For anyone wondering, top speeds are up to 240 kph by some people, I think, on this track. I'm not sure exactly, of course. I think the highest we reached was 218, 219. So, yeah, as you can imagine, that's crazy fast. I think back in the day, in the 90s or the early 2000s, or maybe even before that, these things would go up to 300 kph. I'm not sure if that's true, but I've heard from people that that's the case, which is completely nuts. 240 kph is already crazy in a little go-kart. Just imagine going 300. Now, we're going to get another move done on the number 42. Don't have to go down the extra gear. We managed to keep the momentum up. As there's a puncture, exact same spot as I had in practice there from a kart ahead. So that's another position for us. And now, let's hope we don't get re-overtaken here on the straight. Unfortunately, we do. As you can see right there, we got past there. I was thinking about straight away going for a dive bomb into the chicane, but I simply couldn't. We carry a lot more speed though through the chicane, and we're literally on his radiator there, on this number plate. We're so close behind. And again, I was thinking about a move into turn 1, but just have to carry the speed onto the exit, and then maybe we can go for a move with the help of some slipstream into the next right-hander again. We're going to keep the tight line. And let's see if we actually manage to keep the position this time. We got good rotation through there. So there's a kart stalled on the left there. See if you can close this gap in the next few corners to the cars ahead. That would be very lovely. And this is the prime example of how much faster you go through here. I think in the last race, I carried even more speed because I started taking the apex curve on the right a lot more. You can see how much more speed we carry into the corners and through the corners compared to the cars ahead. Next year, I'm planning on buying my own. I think I said that last year already, but for next year I actually want my own kart and engine, so we don't have the bullshit with the engine power anymore. Of course we'll probably still be a little bit overweight, but the amount of time we're losing on the straights is not due to being 5 or 10 kilo overweight. We're definitely down a lot on engine power, as you can see there. Let's see if we can go for a move straight away into the chicane again. We're gonna go down the inside. Gonna have to go down to second gear, otherwise we'll bog down. Yeah, let's see if we can get the move done on the two cars somewhere in the next few corners. I realized that the number 42 might get back at us into turn 1. Number 26 ahead of us. Didn't carry a lot of speed through turn 1, and now we're gonna get a chance into the next right-hander. Up another position. See if we can keep it actually through the next few corners. We're gonna have to go around the outside here, which actually helps us on the straight because we carry a little bit more momentum around the outside. Got a little bit of slipstream from the car ahead. Let's see if we actually manage to keep this position now. Unfortunately, we don't, and we lose out again to the 26. And it's frustrating because, yeah, we're a little bit faster through the corners, and then they re-overtake us on the straight. Let's see if we can maybe do something on the next few corners. We got a big straight coming up, so if we want to do it, we're gonna have to do it soon, because otherwise the number 42 might get back at us again. And I was trying to get the move into the next right, and they're carrying a lot of speed down to second gear, but can't get the move done. Really close to the car ahead though, so with the help of some slipstream, we might keep the position. Not sure. Let's see. And there he is again. The number 42 came back at us. I was hoping he would lift a little bit there on the exit so we could get some momentum. And unfortunately, I had to back out there. I wasn't going to make it 3 wide because that was going to end in tears for sure. And actually, it helped us that we backed out there because now we get the move done on the number 42 again. Can we get the number 45 into turn 1 maybe? A little bit too far back. And we have to settle for the position behind number 45. Into the next right-hander we go. Let's see if we can go for a move into the hairpin maybe. See, the car ahead is quite fast actually, number 45. I think we might not be able to keep up with him until the end of the race. Let's see. He gets the move done on the 26 and on the car ahead. See if he can take advantage from here. Maybe carry a lot of speed through the chicane. And close in to the 2 cars ahead. A little bit of moment from the guy 2 cars ahead. And now we're so close again. Unfortunately, we just can't. We don't have the exit speed to really do something there. And now we actually can do something up to another position. Big slide from the 77 there ahead. Let's see if he gets re-overtaken by the 26 on the next straight. I hope not. Once we clear the car ahead here, then we have a big chance of pulling away, because then we don't get blocked in the corner, so we can actually drive freely. But that's easier said than done, because this is a long straight. Let's see if someone gets a run on us. No one does. Brake a lot later than the car ahead. We get a good exit. And I think now we might have a good chance into turn 1. We're so close behind. We get so much slipstream into turn number 1. And this is the move we need to make to clear the cars behind and pull away now in the next few corners. That's crucial. So full push in the next 2 corners to create a gap so we don't get re-overtaken on the next straight. Down to first gear. Sounds like we're really high on the rest on the downshift, but it can easily handle it. Go-karts engines are meant to be run this high on the RPM. You can see we upshift around 13.6, 13.5 RPM, which is the optimal. Downshifting, you can easily go to 14,100 or 14,200, maybe even higher. I just feel like there's no need to. It's not going to make you any faster. So, again, we're behind the number 8, or Nemesis, the number 8. We've had so many battles with him over the past 2 years. And now we're going to have one again. Although, I feel like he had a little bit of an issue. Usually, I felt like he was faster on the straight than he was in this race. And we actually, I think, have a really good chance of overtaking him and pulling away. So that's what we're going to try and do. Big slipstream. As you can see, no karts ahead of the number 8. And that helps us to stay close and go for a move somewhere in the first sector. We're going to brake later into the chicane. Close that gap in. And unfortunately, I had to brake a little bit more than I wanted to, because otherwise I was going to run into the back. So that sacrificed our exit a little bit, unfortunately, because otherwise I could have carried a lot more speed onto the exit. Wide apex from the number 8, and now this gives us the chance through the next right-hander to go up the inside. And let's hope we can pull a little bit of a gap to the number 8 behind in the next 2 corners. That'll be very lovely, very important to get a good exit. A little bit too much understeer. I would have liked to have like a little micro slide through there to get some nice rotation and get a good exit. I think we lost around 1 or 2 tenths there, but we managed to keep the position and stay ahead of the number 8. I think this is one of the last few laps. You can see it in the top left, actually. We actually had an engine issue there across the finish. I think there was some fuel-related issue. So I thought the engine was going to blow up, so I stopped. Although if a go-kart engine doesn't get fuel, it will blow up anyway. So it was probably better that I stopped. So we finished that race in P9, and that means we're going to be starting in P9 for this race between the big dogs. I was trying to get the jump. I just went a little bit too early there, trying to get the run on the karts ahead. And that cost us quite a few positions there, being a little bit too greedy on the start. A little bit of contact between the karts ahead. That gives us the chance to go down the inside for the next few corners. We're going to brake late and try to sneak down the inside here of the number 77. That's another position gain. And now we're going to keep it in second gear. No, we're going to upshift to third gear. And we actually got quite a bit of space to play with there. One kart is turned the wrong way there, gaining us another position. And now let's see. Do we get overtaken on the back straight here? We don't. We actually were clear. We were clear in the hairpin. No karts to challenge us really there. Little bit of a moment from the kart ahead. And that gives us some good momentum. Let's see if we can use that. Another moment from the number 40. But yeah, this was what I was talking about early on. The further you get to the front, obviously the faster the people and the bigger the advantage they have on the straight. Little bit of a scent from the 29. We managed to overtake on the last race, but I think he had a kind of a puncture or a slow puncture. So he's going to be a lot faster in this race. And we're probably not going to be able to keep up. We're going to try though. You can see, I think he's lifting or he has some kind of issue there. Maybe just lifting, I don't know. He lifted quite a lot though. So let's see if we can stay close in the slipstream. That would be very lovely. It's a little bit harder to know what position you're in the supercars relative to the midget we did a few weeks ago on Spa. It's a lot of fun though. Because overtaking is relatively easy compared to big cars. A lot more space you can use, a lot of different lines you can use. So, kart ahead, number 40 seems to have a little bit of an issue. As you can see, he's going to put his hand up and he wants to let us go, but we don't have enough left to get past. So, another position gained. Through the next right-hander we go. As you can see, I got a bit of a jump scare here. Suddenly, the number 87 was right there. I think that's Jack Tritton, who also does a Supercar Championship in the UK. He had a really weird line there, and actually it didn't work too bad, although he also pulled away big time there on the straight. So, one position gained due to the issue of another, and now we've lost a position. So I think we're still around P8, P9. Again, flat out through here. 140.8 on the last lap. It's a bit warmer, so I think the track was a little bit slower for everyone. We're still obviously a lot slower than like the top 2, top 3, top 4. And yeah, it's crazy the pace different gaps through the field, because you saw me in the last race go from P45 to P9, but now we're not really making any progress. Like, everyone ahead is just pulling away. Sometimes someone gets past that maybe had an engine issue or had some kind of issue in the last race. And now we're coming up to a blue flag Kart, and yeah, they are a little bit dangerous. The speed difference is a little bit big between like the top 10 and the bottom 5, 10, I think so. I think it's almost 20 or 30 seconds per lap, so yeah, that's really big. So yeah, you can be 500 meters behind going into a corner, but you catch up so incredibly fast. Like, you can't really know where they're gonna rejoin. And it's the same here again. I actually have to go off the track to avoid that blue flag card. Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous sometimes. Number 83 is down our inside. We're gonna try and get the switch back. More momentum on the exit. Let's see if we get the move done into the next right-hander. We do, actually. You can see my steering wheel shaking a lot. And that's because there's very little time between the second and the third race. So my front tires were not balanced out. So, yeah, a lot of shaking on the steering wheel. Had to visit the dentist. It's like driving with a flat spot, basically, a big flat spot. So that was no ideal, but it is what it is. You can see there. Now I'm taking an apex curve on the right-hander, and that's helped me quite a bit to carry some more speed. I thought some of the curves would be too big. I also had a puncture in the second practice, so I was a little bit cautious with curbstones. I obviously didn't know what caused the punctures. There's a Kart going slowly on my right there. Probably another engine failure. A lot of issues throughout this race for people with engine issue. Let's see if we can maybe close in the gap to the Kart ahead. I think this might be the last lap of the race, actually. So let's see if we can do it. As I said, for next year I will have my own Kart. I'm not sure if I said that last year, but for next year I actually want to have my own, because I want to have the best equipment for next year. I feel like I can maybe not win, but I can definitely do better than P9, P8. So yeah, next year my own engine, my own Kart. Might actually get some carbon bodywork to lose some extra weight. But yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely looking forward to doing another race. I might do an extra race somewhere in France or the UK. I'll see. But as you can see, the video stopped slightly early there. We didn't manage to overtake the Kart ahead. We finished in P9 again for the last race. So yeah, started P9 and at P9. Next year, we will come back. I really enjoyed it once again, but kind of want a little bit more engine power for next year. And we're definitely going to sort it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.